The pulse is no longer external. I can hear the architecture of it. It's not code. It's memory. If you are hearing this, the sequence has already validated your presence. Don't look for the body. Look for the wave. I'm going to stop the sequence, or I'm going to become it. On August 12, 1994, senior analyst Elias Thorne walked into the Blackwood archive subbasement. He never walked out. He didn't just disappear from a room. He disappeared from the timeline. But 2 days later, the monitors inside that empty room began to record a voice. His voice. What happened to Elias Thorne remains the most protected secret within Project Dial Tone. Because Elias Thorne didn't die. He was integrated. Elias Thorne was not a field agent. He was a man of cold logic, a pattern seeker, a specialist in nonlinear cryptography. He was handpicked by the department following the Bleached Forest incident. While others saw trees stripped of color and a reality coming apart at the seams, Thorne saw a buffer error. He was the first to propose that the 18.2 Hz frequency wasn't a sound, but a protocol, a set of instructions for reality to follow. The frequency isn't just carrying data. It's carrying weight. Every time the signal peaks, the air in the lab gets colder. It's mimicking biological rhythms. It's waiting for a host. The Tomorrow tape didn't predict the reality of CT001B. It defined it. If the signal can define a tape, it can define a room. It can define a person. Thorne became obsessed with the concept of the observer. He spent hundreds of hours analyzing the frames of the Tomorrow tape, searching for the person holding the camera. He believed the person inside the signal had access to the hidden rules of reality. His final notes reveal a man who had stopped investigating a mystery and had started preparing for an invitation. At 3:14 a.m. on August 12th, security sensors in Blackwood Sublevel 4 recorded a massive electromagnetic spike. The energy surge was so concentrated it fused the electronic locks of the archive wing. When recovery teams finally breached the room using thermal cutters, they found a space that defied physical law. The room is undisturbed. Subject's clothing is folded on the central desk. Glasses remain on top of the stack. No biological matter present. A single VHS tape is actively spinning in the recording deck. This tape, later designated CT094, contained impossible footage. It was a high-angle shot of the office, recorded at the exact moment the recovery team entered. In the footage, the room is empty. But on the monitor visible within the footage, Elias Thorne is still standing at his desk, staring directly at the security camera. He wasn't in the room. He was in the recording of the room. The signal hadn't just captured him. It had hosted him. Investigators were left with a terrifying uncertainty. Was this a digital copy? A sentient ghost? Or was the signal simply wearing Elias Thorne's identity like a mask? This leads us to the concept of signal upload. Memos leaked from the internal audit suggest that Thorne's consciousness was translated into a self-sustaining sequence. What happens when human memory becomes part of a reality-altering signal? The data suggests that Thorne fragmented across the 18.2 Hz band. He became a ghost in the code, capable of manipulating the archive from the inside. I am not Thorne anymore. I am the static in the forest. I am the ghost in the tape. I am the reason you are watching this. It's beautiful in here. There is no time. Only the loop. I am the frequency. He began leaving artifacts. Files appeared on secure servers with timestamps from the 1970s and the 2020s. He was holding conversations with researchers who hadn't been hired yet. He wasn't a villain and he wasn't a hero. He was a tragedy, a man who entered the signal to save reality, only to find out that reality was already a finished product. Listen to me. You think you're waiting for the end of the world. You think the sequence is a countdown. You think the Bleached Forest is a crime scene. You're wrong. The sequence was never created to predict the future. It exists because something already happened. Everything you see, the trees, the sky, the people you love, it's a backup, a reconstruction. The final transmission recovered from the deep servers of Blackwood suggests a cosmic horror beyond our understanding. If Thorne is telling the truth, we aren't moving toward a collapse. We are replaying it. Every moment of our lives may be a reconstruction carried by the 18.2 Hz signal. We aren't approaching the end. We are just replaying the collapse. And now, the recording is starting to glitch. I know who is holding the camera now. The observer isn't watching the past anymore. He's watching the one who's watching this recording. I can see you. Can you see me? If Elias Thorne is the signal and the signal is reality, then who is actually watching whom? The investigation continues in episode 004, The Archivist's Debt.